Right, let's try to solve the ninth problem from the top interview 150 list from Leetcode. The name of this problem is jump game, and in this problem we are given an array of integers which is called nums, and it is given that we are initially positioned at the first index of the array, and each element in the array represents the maximum jump length at that position. Return true if you can reach the last index, or false otherwise. Okay, so let's take this example. And every Okay, so in this example, it is said that we always start at the first index of the array, which is the 0th index. And at every index, it says what is the maximum jump we can take. So if we are standing at index 0, if we are at index 0, then the maximum we can go from here is current index plus whatever the jump is. So it will be nums of I, or we can say nums of 0. So this will be 0 plus 2, which will be 2. So if we are standing at index 0 and the maximum jump at this index is 2, then the maximum we can reach here is at index 2. So this will be our max reachable, which is index 2. Now we have to return true if we can keep going like this and then reach the last index, which is the final element in the array. Okay, so as we can see that for any given index, if we know the maximum jump from that point, so the maximum reachable index we can go or we can jump from that point is its current index plus whatever the value is there for the jump. Now given this assumption, we have at every index we can make a decision that if is this index is currently reachable, and for this we need that the current index should be less than or equal to max reachable so far. Otherwise, the second case is this index is not reachable. In that case, we return false immediately, because if we cannot reach middle index in the array, then we won't be able to reach anything beyond that. Now, given that we are able to reach, let's say we are standing at 2 and it says we are able to reach 1, then now what is my new max reachable so far, considering I can make this jump? So this is what is going to be happening in our approach. At every index in the nums, what we will do is we will ask that for this index, what is the maximum reachable index? And then we will update that value in the maximum reachable so far. Every time we go on a new index, we try to see if this index is reachable or not using this condition. If it is reachable, then we will want to update the new value for max reachable so far, because now we want to consider the new index on which we have landed. If at any given point we are finding ourselves at an index which is less than max reachable so far, then we return false immediately. Now, if we keep moving like this and we reach the end of the array and we come out of the loop, then finally we can return true because last index was reachable. It is also given in the array that we are initially positioned at the array's first index, which is 0. So the start of the first index is 0. So in this case, for the first time, the value of max reachable so far would be 0. So let's go ahead and write code for this solution. So int max reachable is 0 for int current index is 0, current index is less than nums.length, current index plus plus. Now, this is the decision making time. At every index, if the current index is reachable, then we have to update our max reachable. And how do we check it? Current index, it should be less than equal to max reachable so far. So let's say current index is less than equal to max reachable. If it is the case, then we update the value for max reachable. And we consider the current index as well. So current index plus nums of current index. So this is the jump and this is the index at which we are standing. else we have to return value false, because this means that current index is not reachable. Finally, if we come out of this loop, we return the value true. Now to make the code a little bit cleaner, we can also flip this condition so we don't have to write another else block. So to do that, what we can do is we can just say if current index is greater than max reachable, return false, and then this can go out of this block and we can avoid the block nesting. Alright, so now the code looks good to me, and let's try to run this code and see if this works or not. As you can see, we are able to pass all the sample test cases, so let's go ahead and try to submit the solution. And we are able to pass all the test cases. So in this video, we tried to solve the 9th problem from the top interview 150 list, and the problem was called jump game. In the next video, we will be solving the 10th problem from the 150 list.